From the studios of Texas Public Radio in San Antonio, this is Classical Connections on 88.3 FM KPAC, with classical music and musicians from San Antonio, the Hill Country, all over Texas, and all over the world, every weekday from 1 to 3 p.m. Sometimes you'll even hear live performances right here on the air, and performers and directors who come in to talk about what's going on around town. Classical Connections is made possible in part by a generous grant from the Russell Hill Rogers Fund for the Arts. Right now, the music begins with this. San Antonio organist Samuel Gaskin on KPAC. It's Classical Connections with music from San Antonio and the Hill Country and all over the world. And what you just heard was an organ improvisation by this talented young organist. He's an NCOI finalist. We've got Samuel Gaskin, Ryan Giraldi, another organist, and Mark Marty, Dean of the Alamo chapter of the American Guild of Organists, here with us. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi there, Barry. Thanks for having us on the show.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure. So first of all, tell me what NCOI is and what happened.
Well, NCOI stands for National Competition for Organ Improvisation. This is actually the 2020 competition that was delayed till 2021.
Yes.
Because of the
recent unpleasantness.
Right. Yeah, we don't have to talk about that. But anyway, so this year they were hoping to have it in person, but it wound up being a video, pre-recorded video and audio, which wound up being a really cool thing because I was able to ask a videographer, Steve Peterson. He plays in the orchestra, some fantastic video equipment as well. So we got some neat angles of the organ and took it was a 30-minute improvisation, submitted it to the headquarters, and now
Fantastic.
we're waiting to get back.
And what this means is that you're just kind of making stuff up as you go along, right? This is not a written out piece of music by a composer. The composer is you, and you're just playing it.
Yeah, that's right. They give you some guidelines. So you have some parameters within which to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they'll say like, it's got to include everything except a B flat, or they'll say, I don't know.
Man, that would be really cool improv. I want to try that now.
You must.
No, it's like a prelude and fugue in a kind of Baroque style.
Mm-hmm.
They give you a theme for each the prelude and the fugue. And then
so
you have to
they give you the theme, but then you compose the whole piece on that theme, and then it has to be in the form of a prelude and fugue. That's so cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's great stuff happening, and it's that Samuel Gaskin, and we also have Ryan Giraldi, also from the American Guild of Organists. Tell us what you've got going on.
Currently, we actually have a small organ recital going on today at 5:30 p.m. in the Basis Chavano Gymnasium.
Basis is the charter school, BASIS, Basis
Indeed,
Chavano.
that is correct.
And so that's easy to find on Google Maps and whatnot. And so it's in the gym at 5:30 today. Okay, then.
Yes, and we have a Hauptwerk virtual organ set up there with all sorts of speakers, and I've spent time adjusting and EQing the levels, and I think it's going to really end up being just an incredible experience for both organists and non-organists alike.
And that room is pretty good because it's nice and big and echoey. It's almost like one of those great old stone churches, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we have to mention that the concert is catered by La Madeleine, right?
Oh,
just in
yes,
case
of course.
there might be somebody who is only there for the food, and so we don't want to.
Hey, as long as they stay for the music.
That's exactly right. So that's happening today. Let's listen right now to Ryan Giraldi performing this Communion, Opus 8 by Louis Vierne. San Antonio music on Texas Public Radio. That's Ryan Giraldi performing the Communion Opus 8 by Louis Vierne. And if you liked what you heard, you're in luck because this evening at 5:30 at Basis Chavano Gym, that's BASIS, that charter school, Basis Chavano Gym, they've set up a virtual organ concert, 40-minute concert. It's going to be catered by La Madeleine. It's going to be lots and lots of truly cool stuff. And we've got Ryan Giraldi, Mark Marty, Samuel Gaskin, all from the American Guild of Organists with us. Gentlemen, that music sounded fantastic. I love it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm very, very proud of these two fine musicians. Ryan, as a high school student, is giving a concert in his high school gym on a virtual pipe organ. That doesn't happen every day.
That's amazing.
I must say. And then, of course, the real electricity happens when you're experiencing Sam's improvisations, which I've had the wonderful opportunity to do. Both of these talented young men just do amazing things at the organ, and they're such great representatives of our guild. Speaking of young organists, Barry, I wanted to share with you something kind of interesting. National has declared this coming year, starting in July, as the Year of the Young Organist.
No better time than now.
Yes, and anyone under the age of 30 qualifies for a free year membership to the American Guild of Organists. And so I really do appreciate the opportunity for you to have them and have us on your program. Our website for the Alamo chapter of the American Guild of Organists is alamoagosatx.org.
That is Alamo, American Guild of Organists, AGO.
Right.
San Antonio, Texas, SATX. So that's Alamo, AGO,
.org.
SATX.org.
Yes, and if our listeners are interested in more information, we'll be glad to have them check out the website or get in touch with me.
Mark Marty, Dean of the Alamo chapter of the American Guild of Organists, and Ryan and Samuel, thank you guys for joining us.
Well,
Sure.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Barry.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's go out with one more of those improvisations by Samuel Gaskin. Classical music from the great town of San Antonio, right here on Texas Public Radio.